Hello and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest 2A propaganda. Maj Toure, the founder of Black Guns Matter, was arrested in the middle of a podcast for carrying without the pleasure of the crown. We haven't heard from Maj himself yet, but someone tweeted a court document which appears to show Maj was convicted of selling counterfeit trademarked stuff a decade ago and got a year of probation. Supposedly, that could have been punished by 2 years in prison. If all of that is true, then yes, Maj would be a prohibited possessor. Should a person lose their civil rights for life just because they sold some knockoff sunglasses or something like that? Of course not. But what I really want to know is why Philly police were harassing him in the middle of a podcast in the first place. Who was he hurting? What do you think? Why were they even there? What evidence did they have that a crime had been committed? While you chew on that, consider how it would be impossible for us to produce quality 2A propaganda without sponsors. So let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by TNVC.com, your source for bespoke artisanal night vision products in all the latest colors.
Hey, you! Do you want to see in the dark like a superhero? TNVC.com is your source for the finest night vision devices and accessories to make you the bump in the night.
And by Gunstruction. Choose between thousands of real-world components and accessories to spec out your dream build down to the tiniest detail, and when you're done, not only can you see exactly what your build will look like, Gunstruction will tell you what the total cost and weight will be, as well as list a detailed breakdown of every part. Gunstruction is free on Google Play and the App Store, and we'll also throw a link down there in the doobly-doo as always. Bearing Arms found a study out of Rutgers University complaining some firearm owners may not want researchers to know they own firearms. That means the number... hang on. Oh, hello, random stranger on the telephone. No, I don't own any guns. Or anything else valuable. No, and I don't have any opinions about volatile political subjects either. Well, thanks, you too. Sorry. As I was saying, this obvious fact means polling of gun owners is wildly inaccurate. That is, it's obvious in a common sense sort of way, but the researchers have no way to measure what % of people are uncomfortable about sharing intimate details like that. We only know the sampling is inaccurate. The Delaware Department of Justice issued a press release claiming 500,000 rounds of ammo have been stolen from a single Cabela's store over the course of a year, and they're blaming Cabela's for the thefts. They refuse to say how they come up with that number, but they are certain this ammo is being sold to drug dealers. No, they can't prove that either. Cabela's did move all their ammo behind the counter instead of out in the aisles like it is in civilized states, but Attorney General Kathy Jennings still wants them to answer to the crime of being the victim of a crime. If you'd like to tell her she has a case of the dummies, you can reach her at 302-683-8800. Can you ban guns from a whole neighborhood? Broad Ripple Village in Indianapolis is going to try. Indiana has a state preemption law which prevents local governments from creating a patchwork of conflicting gun laws, but that didn't stop the Indianapolis City Council from passing several unenforceable anti-gun laws. Now Broad Ripple is asking the city to declare the whole neighborhood to be a defenseless victim zone every weekend through the end of summer. Private organizations like Broad Ripple can, under Indiana law, ask the city to declare an event gun-free, and the city will help with security and screening, for like a barbecue or block party or other special event. But you have to be a special kind of stupid to think it's even possible to keep guns out of a whole neighborhood, let alone legal to try to do it. We don't know yet whether the city will issue the permit or what the scope would be if they do, but there's a real good chance this is going to see a court challenge, so we'll keep you updated if anything happens. Way back in the year 2000, Marcus D'Angelo Jones was convicted for being a felon in possession of a gun and sentenced to almost 30 years in prison. Jones had used up all his appeals, but a 2019 Supreme Court case held that a person couldn't be convicted of illegally possessing a gun unless they knew they weren't supposed to have a gun. So Jones's attorneys filed another appeal arguing Jones thought his record had been cleared, but the Supreme Court decided he could not have any more appeals even though the case law had changed. What do you think? Should there be a technical hard number limit to the number of appeals a person can file? Is 27 years a remotely reasonable sentence for having a gun? Remember that ridiculous speech Biden gave a few days ago where he said, Brace turns a pistol into a gun? Jamie, throw that up.
It made it harder for people to buy stabilized braces. Put a pistol on a brace, it turns into a gun. Makes it more, you can have a higher caliber weapon, a higher caliber bullet coming out of that gun.
Even a stop clock is right twice a day, and CNN finally did their job and actually fact-checked him on it, and turns out basically everything he said was, yeah, a lie. I mean, you already knew that, but it's nice to see it from the legacy media. In case you missed it, here are all the things Uncle Naughty Hands lied about. Delaware did not have the first red flag law ever, and it was not in effect when Beau Biden was in office. Braces don't turn a pistol into a gun or change the caliber. Gun makers are not immune from lawsuits, nor is gun manufacturing the only business with some liability protection. No, the NRA isn't immune to lawsuits either. No, the Second Amendment does not ban any weapons. CNN also fact-checked him on like a whole slew of other claims which were not related to gun rights, but also totally false, but I won't bore you. And now for your moment of Zen. Friend, do you like pews and other pew-related things? Do you want to help us keep delivering you pure, uncut American pew propaganda at the low, low price of free fitty? We literally couldn't do it without our sponsors. So do us a solid and get yourself something nice from TNVC.com. You deserve it. I love you.